Welcome, beautiful souls. Have you ever been struck by those unexplainable moments? The hunch that turns out to be spot on, or a profound sense of knowing about something you really shouldn't know? This video is all about exploring that mysterious side of yourself with a fun and insightful quiz. Ready to explore? So what exactly are those psychic-like experiences that we're talking about? Think of those classic examples like déjà vu, intensely strong gut feelings, or a deep, overwhelming empathy for someone else. It's almost like you've known them all your life. This quiz is going to be fun, and it's meant for self-discovery. And stick till the end of the video where I will share tips on how to increase your psychic ability. All right, ready to dive into the quiz? It's simple, 6 questions, and all you need to do is after each question, note down if it occurs often, sometimes, or rarely, / never. Grab a pen and a paper and just jot it down, or it's 6 questions, you can take a mental tally. The important thing is to be honest with yourself. There's no right or wrong answers. It's simply for self-discovery. It's all about gaining insight to your experiences. Okie dokie, let's get started. Question number 1. Have you ever had a strong gut feeling about a person or situation that turned out to be absolutely true to your gut feeling, even though it made no logical sense? If that happens to you often, sometimes, or rarely, note that down. Got it? Question number 2. Have you ever had a dream that was so vivid or symbolic or profound that it actually felt like you were living in the dream? Make note of it. Often, sometimes, rarely. Okay, question 3. Can you walk into a room and really pick up the vibe of the room? The emotional atmosphere before anyone greets you or says anything. You can really feel if there's any tension or anything that's uncomfortable. Question number 4. Do you frequently notice a strong sense of coincidences or synchronicities in your life? Like thinking of an old friend and then all of a sudden hearing from them? Or feeling like, oh, the phone's going to ring, and then it does? Question number 5. Do you feel a strong and close, almost intuitive feeling with animals? As if you can understand their needs or wants telepathically without obvious communication? Question number 6. Have you ever had a strong, unexplainable desire to go somewhere, and then when you go there, you meet someone profound, or you find out additional information that leads to a positive outcome that you were not expecting? Okay, that's all 6. So how did you do? Let's tally up your scores. Give yourself 3 points for every often, 2 points for every sometimes, and 1 point for every rarely. Now remember, these scores are purely for fun, and it's not for some deep official psychic diagnosis. It's for fun and for self-reflection. So if you scored 15 to 18, which means you've answered each question pretty much as it often happens to you, you have high heightened psychic awareness. You probably already know this, right? You frequently notice and trust your intuitive hunches, and you have a rich connection to your inner feeling, your psychic connection, your spiritual connection, and your gut feelings. If you scored 10 to 14 points answering the questions with a mix of often and sometimes, you definitely experience intuitive cues and empathic knowings. It's definitely a skill that is worth noting and something you might want to explore further. And finally, if you've scored in the range of 6 to 9 points, where you answered the questions rarely, intuitive hunches might be rarer for you, and you might be leaning more toward logical analysis when you make decisions. This isn't bad, it just tells you where you are, right? So now let's talk about tips on ways that you can increase your psychic ability or your intuition. First, I would start with an intuition journal. Again, you could use your daily journal, the journal that you have and just list in your intuitive hits that you have each day. And remember, don't just like log the experiences, but really dive into the nuances. How did you feel in the experience? What did the dream really feel like? How did your body feel? Even though it was a scary situation, did you feel light and happy? Those things matter. Jot it down in your journal. Sometimes when you go back and look at your journal later, you really can see what the message was and really then learn to trust your intuition even more. Secondly, you could practice mindful presence. What that means is just being in the now, being aware of what you're feeling in the now, not projecting about what happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future, but really be in the mindful presence of now. By being in the now, it creates space and makes you more receptive to those quiet hunches, subtle empathetic waves, and environmental energies. It's about heightening your awareness of the present moment and how it really feels. Next, I would cultivate empathy actively. Make a conscious effort to truly listen to people, not just to their words, but to their unspoken feelings and energies. This can broaden your perspective and strengthen those natural empathetic connections you might feel. Next, engage in all your senses. While being in the now, pay attention to all of your senses. Subtle shifts in the light, the smells around you, how the texture of the fabric feels. This practice can make you more sensitive to the vibe of the place that you are or the people that you're with. And finally, I would say trust your gut. When you get a strong intuitive hit, make a note of it. Consider acting on small hunches and see what happens, or just note it down in your intuitive journal. Over time, when you see the results, you may build more confidence in trusting your gut and your intuition. These practices are all about enhancing your ability and capacity for self-awareness, intuition, and empathy. The goal is to enrich your connection with yourself and the world around you. What practices do you use to connect with your intuition? Please list them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this quiz and want to explore your inner world more, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps our channel. Have fun with it. Mahalo.